All right, we are getting into different shapes as we go through the chapter, and today we are going to be classifying quadrilaterals. Again, these are chock full of vocabulary and remembering the qualities and what makes something a quadrilateral, and then we're going to deal with some special quadrilaterals today. So we're going to start with I can identify quadrilaterals based on their angles and their sides. I'm just going to underline those two things. We were talking a lot about sides and angles when it came to triangles recently. So what is a quadrilateral? Well, a quadrilateral is a plane figure, meaning if you remember to the beginning of our unit, we talked about, a collection of those points are on a plane. It's not 3D. It's a plane figure formed by four segments, which we call sides. Okay? So we're going to deal with some special quadrilaterals today. A parallelogram is kind of our starting point for special quadrilaterals. And, we could have just a wonky one. I'm going to just do like this. That's a quadrilateral. It's a closed figure that has four sides, but there's nothing really special about it. It's just four-sided figure is a quadrilateral. This is a parallelogram, and there's two opposite right here. This one and this one are parallel, and then I'm going to do an X here and this here. Those two are parallel. That makes it a parallelogram. Self-explanatory. Now a rectangle, if you look over here, y'all know what a rectangle is, but you also need to realize it is a parallelogram because this and this are parallel, and so is this and this. But it's a little bit more special because it also has four right angles, and that's identified with those little squares in the corner. I think the one that students forget most often is the rhombus. The rhombus is a special parallelogram. So it's also a parallelogram. You can classify it as that, but it's a special one. Notice these congruent, meaning equal length marks here. I know that this is equal to this is equal to this is equal to this. All sides have to be the same, and two opposite sides have to be parallel to make it a rhombus. Okay. Now we are getting into what I call the special forces, the black ops of the quadrilateral, and that is the square. So I want you to take a look, and it's defined as a parallelogram with four equal sides and right angles. I like to abbreviate, that's an angle, not an L, angles. So if you look at my diagram, it's a four-sided figure with four equal sides. So if you think about it, I could also classify it as a rhombus. I can also classify it as a special kind of rectangle. It meets the requirements. It has right angles and it has two opposite parallel sides. So it's also a special rectangle. So it got that certification. It also is a parallelogram. So if it is a rhombus and a rectangle and a parallelogram, it gets the special certification of square. It is all of these things, and that makes it this. I cannot just describe it as a rhombus. I cannot just describe it as a rectangle or a parallelogram. A square is the most specific way, but I'm not incorrect as also giving it these certifications up here. Okay, so these are things that you just really do need to commit to memory going forward. You're going to be using them throughout your geometric careers. The other thing I want to go through really quickly, again, this class has a very good handle on your algebra, but I want you to think about quadrilaterals. I didn't write out the word, I put quad. Quadrilaterals, quads, measures always equal 360 degrees. And we're going to be going through the measures of the angles of different shapes in future sections, but now we know that triangles are 180 degrees and quadrilaterals are always a 360 object, 360 degree object. And you can kind of reason through that if you look here. and here you're going to see that. Well, here's my quadrilateral, and I'm not going to go through it. You should know how to do this from yesterday with the triangles, but now we are adding that extra one. So you need to use the 360 number as your total. If I have this quadrilateral, it goes 50, and I'm sorry, this is 54, looked like a 6, 50, 54, and 140. Find x. I'm going to pause it. I'll put my arithmetic off to the side and my steps, and I think you'll be ready for your assignment. Here's my steps. I did 50 plus 54 plus 140 is 244. And then I simply subtracted 360 or 244 from 360 to give me my final angle of x as 116 degrees. Easy to do. Also, it's a two-step question, so make sure that you don't stop here. You need to subtract it from 360. It's the arithmetic that usually trips kids up on this, as well as the vocabulary up through here. Please see me if you have any questions. This should be, I don't know, a relatively easy assignment today. I hope you enjoy our unit on geometry.